Hello, welcome to DCA's second Elgato gameplay. Today, we gonna be playing my boy. Alright, in case you don't know who my boy is, my boy spits that waka flocka flame. He gimps people like there's no tomorrow. 3 is his lucky number of jumps. And look at those thighs, looking like he goes for a jog every day. Oh, this man's taunting. Okay. Hold on, can you feel that lag? Boop. Oh, I missed the spike. No! Alright, so you can stop right there. This ain't melee. Get back off. Come here. No rolling zone. No roll zone. No roll zone. Why is this man using side B like it's the best move in the world? Alright, today, I have a story for you. Okay. The story is... Okay. I don't really remember much of the story, but I'm gonna tell it to you. When I was a young lad, I know you probably, like, if you're older, or like in your 20s, you're like, well, you're still young, but... Back to the story. When I was, like, give it an estimate, like 5, I could ask my grandma. Woo! Okay, when I was like 5, we went to this museum in San Diego, and we were going up these stairs, and I was behind my grandparents. So they were assuming that I was following them, but then I made a turn. And apparently, my grandma almost had a heart attack when she lost me, because it was pretty scary. It's like, my mom probably would have never spoken to her again. That probably would have been, like, the worst thing in the world. Losing someone's child? Jeez. Hearing that scary kind of scared me, because, like, I'm not calling them irresponsible, because they are very, very responsible people. Just kind of let it slip. But anyway. They lost me, and I kind of was just having a nice little time exploring the museum on my own. Just kind of chilling, walking around, and they had to call security to try and find me. It was, like, super funny. Hearing the story, like, it was scary, but it was funny. It's just like, come on now. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay, so I was in this place with the dinosaurs because at the time I really loved dinosaurs, and I still do. Hold on, I'm not gonna get JB3. Okay, so I was there while they were searching for an hour for me. So in the meantime, they're all looking for me. I'm having a nice time, chilling, having fun with the dinosaurs, feeling like the land before time. I also loved a lot of Disney. It was just a really good time for me, but hellish for them. I feel bad for them. I was actually, like, there's a ton of more stories of them almost losing me. Just not because, like, they're really bad, like, grandparents, but because I was so hyper. Like, I would run away from them in the streets. There's one more story where, like, I was running away in the street. I ran into the street. One guy grabbed me. My grandma couldn't catch up because my grandma's not particularly fast. Age does kind of do that to you. So I was playing, just kind of running around, running away from my grandma, pretending she couldn't catch me because she couldn't. And I was running into the street, and she was yelling for someone to stop me. And this gentleman stopped me. And it was pretty good. Also, there's the story of how I almost drowned. Yeah, I know, not particularly a good child. So I almost drowned. Like, it was around my grandma's house. You're probably this time wondering, wow, it's CPS, where are you at? But okay, so here goes. I don't even remember any of this. Like, I just remember my grandma telling me this when I was like 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. She told me like most of this, and so we were like, I had like my friends over this time, but I was still like 6 or 5, maybe like 3. No, 5 or 6 or 4, sometimes in between there. Just said my name. Okay, so sometime in between there, I was outside with my friends, and she used to have a pond in her backyard. I know this is really hard to explain. It's foggy. So she had a pond in her backyard full of fish and stuff. It was really cool to go there and watch and see all that, because how often do you get to see a fish pond in your backyard? And they also had this dog that lived right next door. It was the sweetest dog. Never would hurt a fly. So that's nothing to do with the dog. I just really liked that dog. Alright, so I was at my grandma's. I had my friends over, and we were doing stuff near the pond. And I think I was standing on the rocks near the pond, and the rocks couldn't support my weight or something because one of them shifted, and I fell in. And me being stupid and not knowing how to swim, I just kind of fell in. And I was like, well, this sucks. And then I kind of passed out because drowned. And then I wake up, and my grandma has me in a towel, and she's all wet, and I'm just like, huh? So apparently my grandma dove in after me, and my grandma is like full on panic mode. She's almost lost me like 6 times now. She's like, ooh. So, yeah. This is like probably story of my life right now. Me almost getting lost a lot. Like, oh yeah, and I could also talk about the time when I was at... Okay. One more story. Actually, I'm gonna tell you another story right about... I'm trying to think. Just skip like 10 seconds from now if you're still here, and... Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the story of how... Yeah, okay. So, I went to the school where they had an ESS. I guess it's like an after-school program where they would keep you if your parents couldn't pick you up, or you couldn't walk home if you weren't old enough or they didn't trust you enough. And what you would do is there would be not teachers, but there would be like teenagers. Not teenagers, like college students, like 24, 25, 20s, like just 20s and 30s, that would watch us. Make sure we weren't like doing anything malicious. And we would have like an hour to do homework in there, which you may say like that's not a lot, but come on, this is like elementary school. And one time when we went to the younger side of the playground, my friend, we'll call him... We're gonna call him Jeff, just in case you're watching this and you know who I am. Jeff, okay. So, Jeff was like we also used to like play a lot of handball, because handball was really fun, and it was like one of the best things to do. So Jeff was like, hey, yo Devin, I'm one of the really good at handball, and I bet I can beat this guy. And I was like, okay. And then so this girl, we'll call her Sally. These are really not good names. I am so sorry if you know who I'm talking about. You're one of the people in the story. So, okay, well, this is what happened. Jeff was like, hey, Devin, I bet I can beat this guy in handball. And I was like, okay, good luck with that. And then Sally, like, he made a bet with Sally saying, if I beat this guy, you have to kiss Devin. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then he was like, alright, if I win, you have to kiss me. And Sally said, okay. And Vaughn was about to, like... So, yeah. So the Vaughn... which is what we call the court. Okay. Yeah. So Jeff was about to lose, and he made a really big comeback, and he was super hype. So this might be like, there might be a few added details in here, because this was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. Don't, if you want, fight me, okay? So, Jeff is losing, and then he wins. He wins. It's really cool. So, they met by a tree, and, like, they didn't kiss on the lips, but, like, Sally kissed Jeff on the cheek. And it was super weird, because normally in elementary school, you don't see people kissing unless you're at that weird middle school. Or that weird elementary school, sorry. So, what happened was, I was hype, weird, just being weird. I was running around just like, yee, my boy. And, yeah. Alright, one more story. One more. Because I feel like I'm cheating you guys if I'm only giving you guys an 11-minute video. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you one more story. Okay, this is the story. This is probably the best one. So, I'm gonna tell you the story of how I broke my arm. Yep. Best story ever. Okay, so me and my friends were playing near our house. We have this grass field near our house. And if you're one of the people that were here, or you know who I am, and you've been to my house, then you probably know what I'm talking about. We would always call it the grass field. And we had a pool near the grass field. So we were playing like dodgeball, I think, and one of us threw the ball really high up. And it went over the pool. And there's like a 5-foot gate. No, I would say it's more like a 5'5" gate that you have to go in to get the pool. And since none of us had the keys on us, I was the one like, hey, I'll go get it. And so, first, I climb over it skillfully, like I had done like 30 times before. And I grab the ball, throw it back over the fence, and say, I'll be right back. So, I grab it, pull it, throw it over, and then I'm like, alright, time to go back. So, I'm climbing back over the fence, and me being really dumb, I was about to hop over, and then my leg got caught on the other side of the fence. So, I'm falling face first now, and instead of me breaking, like, I don't know, like my nose, me being the genius, I don't know, 7 or 8-year-old I am, I just, what's it called? Yeah, I just threw my right arm in front of me. Because, why would you want to break your dominant hand? So I broke my right arm. And what happened next is I fell and I broke it. I'm dumb. So I fell, broke it, cried, running all the way to my home, which was like, I don't know, less than 10 seconds away. Literally less than 10 seconds. And so, I run home inside crying to my mom, and I'm holding my arm, and she's like, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I show her my arm, and it's bent in 2 different places. I had broken it in 2 different places. And that's bad. I mean, like, that was really bad. And, I've only been to the hospital on holidays. I could tell you 3 more stories about how I've been to the hospital on holidays. This one, I think, was on Labor Day. Yep, Labor Day. Alright, so, that's happening. Running home to my mom, and we're going to the hospital. So, that's the rest of the story. I could tell you another story about how I had to go back and get my arm fixed. Because I, kept banging it against poles because it was itchy. And that was a bad decision, because I bent it out of place again. And then I had to go get it it was like a massage. And you're like, oh, massage, ooh, good. But no, on a massage on a broken bone, that shit's a lot. Like, a lot. I can remember crying and tearing up. That was probably the most painful experience in my life. It was more painful than breaking the arm itself. At least with breaking the arm, it was one quick snap, like a Kit Kat bar. But when he massaged it for a good 1.5 minutes. That was like the worst. And then I just scratched it with a spoon. Yep. And then after they took it off, it smelled like burnt rubber. Just burnt rubber. Just smelled like burnt rubber. And it was awful. It smelled really bad. And yeah. That's the story of how I broke my arm. If you want to hear another story, then just listen in. But if you don't, just leave, okay? Okay? It's my video. I want to tell another story because I like telling stories. So this is another one on when I went to the doctor on a holiday. We're at my grandma's house, like the one I described before, except now we're selling it. And I can tell you honestly, this was like 2 years after I broke my arm. So this was like really dumb. I broke my arm 2 years ago, and we went back to my grandma's house. So, except now the pond has been covered in with rocks. Not because of me, but because the people that were buying it didn't want the pond. So we covered it up. Or I think it was my grandma said it's not a really big sales pitch to have a pond or something. It's better just have a backyard. Whatever, okay, next story. So we had the pond covered in. And next we were going to they were like scaling the hill, and my grandma and my mom told me don't go up the hill about 1 billion times, but you know me, being the kid, being really dumb, I went up the hill, and then I found a bunch of bees, and I don't like bees, so I was running back down the hill really fast, because I can run really fast. So I was running down the hill, and I fall. Like, I don't fall like on the hill, like I'm keep falling down. This isn't one of those snowball stories where I'm falling like a snowball and collecting stuff. No, I just like, I jump and then I slip, and like I was wearing jeans. Yeah, I was wearing jeans. So I fell on these rocks, like these rock tiles, and then they sliced straight through my jeans and into my knee. So what happened was, it sliced through my, and so my knee, so think about having a knife, look at your knee, and just take a deep cut. It was like, you couldn't see the bone, but it was deep into the muscle, it was deep. And so, I showed my mom, and she's like, alright, we're going to the emergency room. This was Valentine's Day. This was Valentine's Day. And, so Valentine's Day ruined, because it was pretty bad. We also had to get stitched up, and you had to get stitched up, and I couldn't play with my friends for another like 6 months. I have a big scar. It's on my left knee, I think. Sorry, it's like really cold in my house right now. It's like 60 degrees, because I live in San Diego, and that's cold for me. So I'm wearing like these big sweatpants, and I have my feet like tucked into the pant leg. It's pretty fun. You should do it. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and so much for listening to like 10% of my injuries. Alright, you guys have a nice day, and if you want, stick around tomorrow or the next day. Well, I'll be having another video. Alright, thanks for